For this week's activity, I've asked you to do a highlighting exercise. What's a highlighting exercise? It's when you take a set of prints and you pull out one set of interesting or important information. In some cases, you literally use a highlighter to mark that particular information throughout an entire set. In this case, what I'm asking you to do is to pay attention to the relationship between your views in your set and to add the tags that call out this relationship. So I've given you a matrix of which relationships I'd like you to tag. Here's how to read it. In the left-hand column is the scale drawing reference, and then the center column is the highlight location. The right-hand column is which symbol you'll use. For example, let's look at the right side elevation. That's the second line in this matrix. The right side elevation will be tagged on the floor plan using the elevation tag. Going down in the matrix, for example, section AA will be tagged on the floor plan using the section symbol. So how can you complete this exercise? There's a couple of different options. You can mark a set by hand, or you can mark it on the PDF. If you mark it by hand, you can either mark your large size set that came with your textbook. Then you're going to have to scan and send that to me. Kind of hard to scan those big ones. Another choice is to print out a smaller set using your PDFs. Print a smaller, like 11 by 17 set, mark those by hand, scan and submit. Okay. If you're going to do it completely on the computer, you can use a program such as Adobe Acrobat or Bluebeam Review to mark directly on a copy of your PDF set and send that to me. There's a couple of online options that can let you mark on PDFs, or if you have another tool that you know how to use, feel free. I'm going to go over one example of how to tag these drawings to help you out and get you started here. So take a look. We're going to tag drawing C3, the kitchen cabinets, interior elevations, on sheet 1, the floor plan, using the interior elevation symbol. So here I've used a split screen to show you drawing C on sheet 3. This is the kitchen cabinets, interior elevation. And also to show you the floor plan on sheet 1. So that's up here. Take a look. This is the kitchen right here. What I've done is placed an interior elevation symbol in the middle of the kitchen plan. And so you see the letters C3 are tagging the drawing C on sheet 3. And then the A, B, C, D around the edges are pointing at the individual drawings. Look over here, in elevation A corresponds to the letter A that's pointing in this direction. Same thing with B. Here's elevation B, and it is pointing down below. So we're looking at this wall here. Elevation C. I actually started with elevation C, by the way, because I looked for the sink and the window. And that was the easiest way for me to tell which side of the room was which. And finally, elevation D is pointing up towards this wall, and we see it on this elevation. That was one example of this week's activity, so you can continue with the rest of the matrix to finish the activity.